sitting here at the truck stop in Loves, in White House, Tennessee, about 30 miles north of Nashville. I'm going to go into my 01 for a pickup around, and my appointment's at 11 o'clock. I'll be there at 10 o'clock this morning, and I am headed back to Florida. Man, it's been a long week, and I can't tell you how happy I am to be headed back home to pick up my beautiful bride for a couple different reasons. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but just wanted to, you know, touch base with you this morning, tell you where I am, what's going on, and what's been happening. Woke up this morning, was going to take a shower, but apparently in the move from Pilot Flying J to Loves, I have lost my platinum status, and the shower isn't free. It's always been free all the way along up until now. You know, if you just bought fuel, like $25 worth of fuel each month, you maintained your platinum status with Loves, and I've never had a problem with that. We've always stopped at Loves to shower because it was free, and of all the major truck stops, Brooke and I feel like it's generally across the board the cleanest of the truck stops that we go to. So, but this morning I didn't have platinum status, and I was going to have to pay for the shower. And since I'm picking up today and driving straight on down to Florida, I'll shower at home tomorrow morning, and elected not to pay for a shower today. So that's all good. I think that on the 5th is the date that we go live, with Loves being the preferred provider of fuel for Prime. And at that time, it should automatically pop in as platinum for all of us. But if it doesn't, get a hold of the fuel desk, and they can probably make that happen for you. It sure will be nice to be able to stop at Loves for showers consistently, and get our fuel at the same place. And in the past year, we usually, you know, fueled at one place wherever the optimizer sent us, which was usually Pilot or Flying J, and then we stopped for our showers at Loves. So now it'll be kind of more one-stop shopping. Well, the last week has been challenging for me, and for a couple different reasons. First of all, in the amount of money that I've been making. You know, for the last year, I've tried to stay pretty positive, take a positive spin on where we are, where the market is, how things are going, and honestly, I think, you know, it took a while to hit Prime, maybe more so than it did the spot market for sure. But even after that, it's been a little easier for me driving with my wife as a team than for solo drivers. And after the last week, I can say I've seen what the solo drivers at Prime are going through and the challenges that you have. The rate that I'm making when I break it down per mile has not been bad at all. You know, the first load that I got out of Florida was terrible, but I always get a terrible load out of Florida. This was especially bad. It was about $1.40 a mile. It was a Tropicana load, which we probably get 80% of the time when we come off of home time leaving Florida. They have us drop down from where we live in North Florida to Bradenton and pick up a Tropicana load, and this was $1.40 a mile, all the way up to Indiana. And so, you know, we know that, we expect that, and it's just kind of a cost of doing business, and one of the trade-offs for living in sunny Florida, which we love. But you know, I got that load and picked it up, and as soon as I crossed the border into Georgia, I got a message on the Qualcomm asking me if I was interested in doing, or they were asking me to do a repower for somebody that for whatever reason needed to drop his load, which was going back down to Plant City, Florida. Now the rate was pretty good. It was over $2 a mile, but you know, it was only about 300 more miles on the load, and I had just, you know, taken the bad medicine of leaving Florida, had gotten out of Florida. And you know, I always want to try to help out. If they ask me to do a repower and I'm able to do it at all, I'll do it if it makes sense. But I always tell them it has to make sense for me too. So my simple request was, you know, I'm willing to do this, but I need you to give me, you need to set me up with another load after I drop this repower in Plant City, Florida. And for those of you who don't know, a repower is when somebody is on a load and for whatever reason they have truck problems, or they have an emergency, they have to get home, or sometimes they haven't calculated their clock properly and they're not going to be able to get that load to the final destination, or the 90, in time to make the delivery on time. And they'll have another driver come, switch trailers, and that driver that has a good clock will be able to finish that load up and get it down in time for delivery. Well, I said I was willing to do it if they were able to back me up with another good load, you know, out of Florida. The other piece that I didn't mention is this load was going to deliver on a Saturday, which I try really hard to run my loads in such a way that I'm running over the weekend and not delivering on a Saturday or a Sunday where I have to then sometimes wait a day or two to get another load. Weekends have been terrible recently to get reloaded. So the message that came back was, sales says that they'll do the best that they can to get you a good load. And I quickly answered back and said, well, unfortunately, that's not good enough for me. I'll just continue on with this load that I'm on up to Indiana, which I did. And delivered up there. Then I got another quick load down to, let's see, where was it? Went from there and took a load down to Kentucky and delivered yesterday in Kentucky. And now I'm taking this load, picking a load up here in Nashville, and it goes to Orlando. Both of the second two loads paid, I think, very well. The second load that I picked up down to Kentucky was about $2.50 a mile, and the load that I'm picking up today in Nashville down to Orlando is like $3.09 a mile, which is always great money. Even in a good market, that's good money. So I can't complain about the money this week. What I am disappointed in is the amount of time that I'm having to wait both between loads, and also the time that they give us to deliver these loads. So this load that I'm on today, I had to wait a full 24 hours from when I delivered yesterday until when I pick up today. I had to sit at this truck stop 24 hours and just sit and wait, nothing to do. I don't pick up until today. Then on top of that, there is a full another 24 hours in drive time, more time than I need as a solo driver to get it down to where I need to drop it off in Orlando. Now this is going to work out great for me. I'm going to park the load at a Love's close to my house. My wife's going to pick me up. I'm going to spend a day at the house, wrapping things up with her at home time, getting things ready for the truck. And then the next morning we're going to get up early and deliver this load into Orlando and then be headed out, and we should be fine after that. But I feel you, for you solo drivers. I feel you that I probably this week will just break even. I'll probably just pay my expenses and not save any money. And honestly, when I look back over the last 6 weeks, I have not seen my business savings account grow. It's pretty much stayed where it was. Now I haven't had to dip into that for anything, but just for various reasons. We've been off. Brooke's been off the truck for 2 weeks. I was off for a week. We did have some repairs that we had taken, that we've been paying for. You know, we just ordered a new truck, so we're paying for some extras with that. I started a SEP IRA. I increased the amount that we're paying into Brooke's 401k as a company driver. So we have more money each week coming out of our account. So basically I'm breaking even right now the way that it is, paying all our bills at home, and I haven't been able to save. And so that's been the real disappointment as the market has gotten worse for us. Now I think as a solo driver, and I can validate this from talking with lots of you out there, we have phone calls. It's tough. It's tough in a market to make money when you're a solo driver. Some of you may still be doing it, but by and large, there's just a whole lot of time waiting between loads. And I get the sense that while the rates had dropped that they may be improving a little bit, or at least they've stopped. The bleeding isn't as bad. The rates have not gotten worse. But the real problem is the wait time between loads and the extra time that's on the loads to get us down to delivery. So still waiting and watching and hoping for a turn in that. I am confident that that will turn around. Any of you that are watching and interested in trucking, I know many of our audience are not truckers, but are folks that are considering trucking as a career. I can wholeheartedly recommend that you jump in with both feet and do it, if trucking is something that you want to do. I've had to examine that myself over the last few months, and I'm always thinking, you know, what is this worth it for me? Is it worth it to give up being at home and living on the road? Because that is a sacrifice, and so far it is. It's a means to an end for me. Where I really want to be in 5 years is retired and living at our homestead and growing our own food, raising our own livestock, you know, butchering pigs and cows and rabbits and chickens, and freeze drying that meat and putting it in the freezer and canning our vegetables. And you know, when I go home, we're going to do a quick video of around the homestead and the things that we got done in the last 2 weeks. And we're both really happy with the amount of food that we were able to put up. So the truth is, I'm not able to do that right now. I can't retire and live that life right now. So this is a sacrifice for us. This is something that Brooke and I are doing as a means to an end. And I believe that trucking is going to allow us to do that. The other thing is, I am tired of having a regular job. I have gotten up every morning, in some cases put my shirt and tie on, some cases not, depending on the job, gotten in my car, driven in for my 9-to-5 job, or sometimes an overnight job, answered to the man. You know, you're always got a supervisor. You always got somebody that you have to answer to. You always are playing the politics of whatever organization that you're working with. And it has been a welcome change for me and refreshing to wake up every morning, put my clothes on, brush my teeth, and drive, you know, and just drive and make good money to do it, and have my wife out here with me, and we're doing it together as a team. I wonder sometimes how men or women are able to leave their wives or their husbands and their children at home and come out and do this job. I have incredible respect for you for being able to do that. Sometimes life calls for those kinds of sacrifices. I'm blessed that I don't have to. Our kids are grown and on their own and doing well, and we actually see more of them being on the road because they all live in different parts of the country. So from that aspect, it's not a sacrifice. It's actually better. We see more of our family this way. But the financial piece is something that each of you have to make that decision for yourselves. When I say that my checking account hasn't grown, my savings, my business account hasn't grown, I'm okay with that, because I know that over time that is going to turn around and we'll get back to making, you know, every week $3,000, $5,000 in the bank. Is not unheard of. It's not to be expected every week, but you should be making significant gains in your savings every week. And if you're not, you need to step back and look at that and say, how can I do it differently? Because the year that we had last year enabled us to much better get through the year that we're having this year. Again, I haven't had to dip into that savings. We're still maintaining, we're paying all of our bills, and we're saving a significant amount of money too in our 401 and my SEP IRA. But as far as seeing that savings account grow, it's kind of stagnated probably over the last 6 weeks. So I'm hopeful that after I pick up Brooke tomorrow and we start hitting it again as a team, we're going to start you know, knocking back the miles, getting those good loads, and seeing that savings account grow again. That's all. I really wanted to just touch base with you and let you know where I was today. Again, I pick up in Nashville, for an 11 o'clock appointment, and I'll be driving straight down to close to home, dropping the trailer for 24 hours with my truck. We won't take the truck home. The truck will still be attached to it. And then we will get back out on the road Saturday morning, get up early, and go down to Orlando for a delivery. Then get a load out to points unknown, and hopefully be putting that money in the bank. So this is Captain Dave, Simple Plan Trucking. Just wanted to say y'all be safe out there, take care of each other, and Brooke and I will be seeing you on down the road. Bye. If you enjoy our channel, please subscribe by giving us a like and clicking the thumbs up. Also, click on the bell to be alerted when we release new content.
And if you're interested in joining the Prime family, follow the link in our description box below to driveforprime.com. When filling out your application, use our referral code GRAJDA. Reach out to us with any questions that you may have, or call our Prime recruiter, Barbara Brown, at 417-521-3915.
Finally, we ask you to share our channel with friends and family who may be interested in trucking as a career. What we really want is to help people set and achieve goals they never thought possible.